She crushed my nephew's arm with a dumbbell and smirked. Less than 30 minutes later, she was writhing on the floor, shoulder ripped from its socket, blood trickling from her mouth, soaked in her own shame. And I still hadn't delivered the final blow. Justice isn't always silent. Today it roared. Don't look away. This is how tyrants crumble. The gym was eerily quiet that morning, not the calm kind, but the kind that hums under your skin, like a wire stretched to snapping. My nephew Ethan stepped inside, hesitant. At 14, he was slight, with a faint scar tracing his neck from a car accident that nearly took him. His steps were stiff, deliberate, each one a victory over pain. He headed for the corner treadmill, far from the mirrors, far from attention. He just wanted to walk again. I watched from the mezzanine, towel gripped tight, my knuckles whitening when I saw her. Miranda. She stood like she owned the place, arms crossed between the dumbbells and rowing machines. Her hair, dyed platinum, gleamed under the fluorescent lights, her eyes scanning the room like a predator. People moved around her like shadows, heads down, silent. Grown men had abandoned workouts to avoid her venom. She hadn't noticed Ethan yet, but I knew she would. Ethan stepped onto the treadmill, setting it to a crawl, 0.8 miles per hour. To him, it was a mountain. His hands clung to the rails, legs trembling, but he walked, eyes glued to the floor. Then Miranda's head turned. Her gaze locked onto him, and the air shifted, heavy, electric. She didn't speak, just stared, cold and calculating. I felt the tension snap like a breaking cable. Something was coming, and I didn't yet know how far it would go, or how far I'd go to stop it. The gym's atmosphere thickened. A guy on the bench press racked his bar early and slipped out. The front desk clerk glanced at Miranda, then buried his face in paperwork. Even the pulsing music seemed to fade, as if the speakers feared her wrath. Ethan didn't notice, too focused on his next step, right foot, plant, hold, left foot, balance. Sweat beaded on his forehead, his knuckles bone white on the rails. Then Miranda moved. She didn't walk like a person, she moved like a verdict, each step sharp, her pristine white sneakers clicking on the mat. She cut through the gym, weaving past machines, straight for Ethan. I was halfway down the stairs, not wanting to spook him. He hated being hovered over, wanted to prove he could do this alone. So I held back. Miranda stopped beside the treadmill, silent, watching. Ethan's rhythm faltered, his right foot dragging. He glanced at her, barely turning, and whispered, "Excuse me, I'll be done soon." Miranda's smile was slow, venomous. "You shouldn't be here," she said, her voice slicing through the air. "This isn't rehab. It's a gym for people who train." Ethan blinked, head lowering. "You're wasting equipment, taking up space. Others pay for real workouts. You're a liability. If you fall, we get sued. I'm not letting this place carry your broken body as a burden." She pointed at him, fingers stiff. 30 seconds to get off, or I'll help you down." Ethan hesitated, not from pain but shame. He stepped off, head bowed, and shuffled toward his water bottle. I was at the bottom of the stairs, blood pounding in my chest. If she touched him, I'd make sure she regretted it. Miranda stood taller, arms crossed, as Ethan tried to slip past. "Keep your mouth shut next time," she hissed, loud enough for everyone to hear. "Think this is a charity. You don't get special treatment for limping around like a stray." A woman nearby put on headphones she didn't use. A man wiped the same spot on a machine, over and over. No one looked. Ethan turned away, but Miranda stepped in front of him, teeth bared. "Turn your back on me again, and I'll show you a real injury." He froze. I took one step forward. Then it happened. She shoved him, hard, palms slamming into his back. Ethan stumbled, crashed to his knees, hands smacking the floor. Before I could reach him, Miranda grabbed a 7-kilo dumbbell from the mat. "You're not welcome here," she said, and smashed it down on his left elbow. The sound was unnatural, a crack, a snap, something tearing. Ethan's scream was raw, animalistic, as he collapsed, clutching his arm, now swollen and twisted. Blood pooled on the mat. Miranda dropped the dumbbell like it disgusted her. "Next time, stay home," she spat, wiping her hands on a towel as if she'd spilled water, not blood. I moved, not walked, not ran, but moved like gravity itself had unleashed me. My vision tunneled, hands curling into fists. Miranda didn't see me coming, didn't even glance at Ethan, whimpering on the floor. She turned away, tossing the towel aside. I knelt by Ethan, checked his pulse, his breathing. He was conscious, barely. "Call an ambulance," I barked at a bystander. They scrambled. Miranda scoffed. "Give me a break. I didn't hit him that hard. Kids today are soft. He shouldn't be here if he's made of glass." I stood, turning slowly. Her smirk faltered. "What? Gonna sue me?" "Boo-hoo, big tough guy wants to cry to management." My voice was ice. "You just broke the wrong kid." She flinched but recovered, chin lifting. I said what I said. I ripped the towel from her hands and slammed it down, the floor cracking under the force. She stumbled back into the squat rack. "No more speeches," I growled. "No more threats. No more fake queen act." I grabbed the bloody dumbbell and held it inches from her face. "You like hurting people smaller than you? Let's see how you do with someone your size." The gym froze. No one moved. Miranda lunged, claws out. I caught her wrist, twisted, and slammed her to the mat. The crash echoed. She hit hard but thrashed like a trapped animal, spitting insults. "You're a psycho! You're going to jail!" I grabbed her collar, yanking her up. "You already own nothing." Her fear was palpable now, seeping through her sweat and perfume. She played her last card. "I'm the HOA president. I'll sue this gym. I'll blacklist your family." I dragged her back, slamming her into the squat rack. The steel groaned. She crumpled, gasping, clutching her ribs. Miranda tried to crawl, wheezing. "I'll press charges." I knelt beside her. "You like control? Let me show you what it feels like." I pinned her chest with my forearm, yanked her arm back, and torqued until her shoulder popped with a wet crack. Her scream was guttural, then silence. She lay trembling, blood trickling from her mouth, one earring torn out. I dropped the dumbbell beside her head with a clang. "That's the weight of your choices." Sirens wailed outside. EMTs and police burst in, freezing at the sight, Miranda broken on the mat, me standing calm. An officer ordered me to step back. I raised my hands. "She's not going anywhere." EMTs rushed to Miranda, who screamed when they touched her shoulder. I looked at the crowd, some shocked, others nodding silently. They'd lived under her tyranny too long. An officer asked, "What happened?" Miranda whimpered, pointing weakly at me. I stepped forward. "That dumbbell?" She used it to shatter a kid's arm. I stopped her. The room exhaled. Someone whispered, "It's true." Miranda sobbed, mourning her lost control. I knelt by her one last time. This is what happens when no one stops a monster, and someone finally does. Ethan was treated near the treadmills, pale but safe. I gripped his good hand. "It's over. She won't hurt anyone again." As they wheeled Miranda out, the gym seemed to breathe again. By morning, the security footage was online, every angle, unedited. Miranda's venom, the shove, the dumbbell, my response. It hit 1 million views by noon, national news by night. Headlines screamed, HOA president assaults disabled teen, uncle delivers justice. The truth poured out. Former residents exposed Miranda's reign, mocking a woman's limp, revoking a man's gym pass for gaining weight, trying to evict an elderly couple over a walker. The HOA stripped her title, banned her, and faced lawsuits, including mine for assault and trauma. Miranda's viral apology was pathetic, her excuses drowned by unforgiving comments. Her fitness brand dropped her. The gym hung a sign, "This is a place for strength, not cruelty." 3 weeks later, Ethan and I returned. His arm was in a cast, but he walked tall. The gym was quieter, not from fear, but healing. Near the weight platform, we saw her, Miranda, on her knees, scrubbing with a sling on one arm, her hair dull, nails chipped. She flinched when she saw us, looking away. I crouched beside her. "This is where your crown cracked." She didn't respond. "No other HOA would take you, huh?" Silence. "This is what it feels like when the power you stole becomes a weight you can't lift." Ethan stepped onto the treadmill, the same one she'd kicked him off. The bell hummed. Behind us, Miranda scrubbed, trying to erase a stain that wasn't on the floor. It was on her. As we left, I said, "You broke a kid with a dumbbell. Now you clean floors with one good arm. That's balance." She didn't reply. Ethan smiled, proof the world could be just. Justice isn't always a courtroom. Sometimes it's a gym mat, flickering lights, and the truth. Miranda wasn't a mistake, she was a choice. And choices have consequences. We don't fight evil by becoming it, but by standing up until the untouchable learn they're not. That's the weight we lift, protecting those who can't protect themselves. What would you have done? Would you have walked away or made her pay? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about standing up to bullies and where you draw the line. If this hit you, like the video to show you're not afraid to fight for what's right. Subscribe for more stories where justice lands hard, and hit the bell so you don't miss what's next.